I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories in the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the car.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kenneth Walker! Touchdown! Smarty!
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Wednesday morning to you. It is the 29th day of November 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Ben Glaze, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us. No matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide at the iHeartRadio app. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you, we welcome you, we thank you, we appreciate you, and of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio and send that to 21,000, Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XP Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well. BCSN is streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us all individually on Twitter. Ryan Elkey is at RyanL_Key. Ben Glaze is at The Ben Glaze, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AEC Bellino. Gentlemen, good Wednesday morning to both of you.
Good morning.
It is Hump Day.
That's right.
Got any big plans for the weekend? I can start thinking about. Monday, Tuesday, you kind of recap the weekend that was. Wednesday, can kind of start looking forward a little bit.
Headed up to the fiance's parents to celebrate Thanksgiving this weekend.
Oh, wait. Up to? Is this a commute? Is this a drive?
Yeah, up by Mount Pleasant.
Oh, all right. Nice. So,
yeah, about an hour and 20 minutes away.
Oh, that's what's up. I wonder if they can get 100.9 WLUN.
Yeah, I'll have to check
where they're at. That's pretty interesting. That's one of our newer affiliates that services that area, which is great, which is exciting. An hour and 20 isn't bad.
No,
how did you and your fiance meet, and how'd you end up in Grand Rapids?
Well, I've grown up in Grand Rapids, and then she came down to Grand Rapids for school. And so then that's how we met, was once she moved down here.
Davenport?
She went to Grand Valley.
Grand Valley, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Wow.
Met on a dating app.
Oh, Hinge? Tinder?
Bumble. Yeah, this was before Hinge, I believe.
Man, get your swipes in, Ben Glaze.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, are you serious? That's super scintillating, sensational. Man. Well, good for you, man. She must have thought you were a fox, because on the old Bumble, if once both parties swipe to the right, the woman has to be the one to initiate the conversation.
Correct. Yeah, that's why I liked that one. It left all the pressure off me.
From a theoretical standpoint, I know, like I saw it, I was watching something where, people were complaining about it. Women were complaining about that. And it's like, really? Like, do you want the same pickup line? Like, how about, okay, we both matched, whether or not you think I'm attractive, or if you are actually interested in getting to know me, why don't you start the conversation? I know where to go from there.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's a really good way to do it.
Right.
In my opinion.
What always bugged me was, like on Tinder, women would have in their profile saying, like, if you only message me with hey or hey, what's up, I won't respond. But then when on Bumble, to get this conversation going, that's what they would start with.
100%. Like, hey,
yep.
Wave, like, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
It's a good start. I'm Tony Baloney. Nice to meet you. That's great, man. That's great. Shout out to Bumble, man.
Yeah.
Well, you got to send your story to him now, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. You
right.
you said your story about how you guys met, and you take, if you have like a picture of your profile or whatever.
Yeah, maybe after the wedding, and we'll send wedding photos too.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Look at you guys. Who knows? You might even get a deal out of it.
Right.
And by deal, they might like send you like a gift card to Lowe's or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be cool. I would do that. It's so great to have you with us. John Wagner is going to join us at 6:35. Enough of me investigating Ben's social media dating app sites. Did you delete all the apps, by the way?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, I'm just checking. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
If you're still, swiping just for, just to stay active, just getting some reps.
No. Yeah, once it became official, they were gone.
Let's get some reps out there. That thumb strength up.
Right.
John Wagner will join us this morning, 6:35, plus Chris Wormley at 7:35. we'll take a more of a look at what the Pistons need, and from a roster construction standpoint. We had a good comment in here from Nate on the Pistons, so we'll get into that as well. MSU hit the hardwood last night. I thought it was very interesting. Of course, we got the college football playoff rankings that came out as well, so we've got plenty to do. Still have no idea what the committee is up to. It seems like every week it changes. Consistency is one of the things that has been maybe the biggest question marks for fans, is that we're all going to do better when there's consistency. And when there's not consistency, that leaves the door open for a myriad of other things. And we are in that doorway of the myriad of other things because there is no consistency there. We can't figure it out. We kind of sort of feel like maybe we have it right, but then all of a sudden we don't. And that's bothersome. Right? That is bothersome. Plus, the Red Wings made it official. We mentioned it yesterday, but it is officially official today, and that is the fact that Patrick Kane is now a Detroit Red Wing. By the way, are any of you following this Corey Perry story? So Corey Perry was 20 games in to a $4 million deal, and the Blackhawks announced earlier yesterday they placed the 38-year-old on unconditional waivers for the purpose of terminating his contract. Blackhawks manager Kyle Davidson said yesterday the front office was told during a team trip last week about Corey Perry committing possible misconduct, which led to an internal investigation culminating with the organization cutting ties. Now, there is a rumor out there that we do not know if it is true or not. It sounds and feels like all things are pointing that this would be true. I don't know if I'm allowed to repeat the rumor without confirmation or if that gets me in trouble. But I'll tell you this much. Corey Perry is 38 years old. I'll tell you what the alleged... How do I do this? Does anybody know? Can I tell you what the alleged rumor is? And then you guys go do the math on your own? Davidson said, quote, "This is a tough situation. I understand you want answers. It was important that we took all the necessary steps before sharing more. I hope you can understand that I may not be able to answer everything today, but I'm going to be as open and honest as I can about the given situation out of respect for those involved." It has something to do with Connor Bedard's mom. That's the alleged story. There was a mom's trip, Corey Perry, and as far as I know, like, that's not like misconduct as in like he, did something that was unwanted with Connor Bedard's mom. It sounds like it was a Delonte West situation, in the words of Ryan Elke. That's what we're looking at. That's what the rumor is. Now, whether or not there's truth to that, these things start, and I don't want to be the one to share something that's not true. So allegedly, that is why he is being let go. The Blackhawks organization is going to have to come out. You can't just walk away from this and say, "Oh, privacy for all those involved." Like, that doesn't work. Like, we need answers. But that is what is being reported, that there were some sort of relations between the two, and they gave him the axe. We'll step aside. When we return, we've got Michigan State shooty hoops. We'll talk about that next here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he is a managing shareholder at Bean Garter, soon to be Doran Mayhew at the end of the year. And with the merger, there is growth and a chance for you to fill an executive or other high-level finance-related roles, either at Bean Garter here in downtown Grand Rapids or over at the Doran Mayhew World Headquarters in Troy, or at any of their offices across the country and around the world. They have a national specialized talent pool with ideal candidates for long-term placement, ongoing support for post-placement success. So if you're looking for that next chapter in your professional career, talk to Josh Garvey and the team at Bean Garter. Easiest way, you can call Bean Garter, ask for Josh Garvey, or go to their website, BEENEGARTR.com, or look for Bean Garter, soon to be Doran Mayhew, on Facebook and on Twitter.
Don't miss holiday deals at Meijer. Shop select Lego playsets for 30% off. December home holiday indoor decor is buy one, get one 50% off. And December home holiday ornaments and lifelike trees and Philips lights are 20% off. These deals and products won't last long at these prices. Head to Meijer today to shop holiday deals in one stop. Plus, pay the same low buyer price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. You know, golf season's pretty much come to a close now at this point, folks. Can't drag that out any longer. We made it till the end of November. I haven't played in weeks, but this being the 29th day of November and snow on the ground, you got to imagine it's time to call it quits. Time to put the clubs away. Time to clean them up. Clean your gear. Clean your shoes. Put them inside. You know, go through and a deep clean for all of your irons, all that good stuff. But Tullymore Golf Resort, you can go clean your clubs there, too. They offer not one but two championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives, and they also offer top-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding event, reception, or group outing. So visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or you can call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at the beautiful Tullymore Golf Resort today and start planning on 2024 at one of Michigan's best getaways. Okay, real quick here on the end of that Corey Perry story. The GM allegedly said, quote, anything that suggests otherwise or anyone that suggests otherwise is wildly inaccurate, frankly disgusting. Because what had happened is Perry's absence led to some conversation on social media. Davidson was also asked about speculation towards the end of the news conference, and emotional Davidson said the past 24 hours has been very disturbing, before adding it has been tough to see with all of the rumors. So they said it was an incident with a team employee. Here's the deal. This is the best way to stop speculation. Chicago Blackhawks, a team that has a franchise that's had some scandals in recent years, just tell the truth. That's all you have to do. This is what happened. That's what happened. So Perry had initially taken a leave of absence from the team. The GM tells reporters the decision to send him away from the team was made by management. Perry's agent, Pat Morris, said in a statement the same day it was Perry's decision to leave the Blackhawks. So now we already know they're not on the same page. And then we could address rumors by saying, oh, that's inaccurate. Then what was it? Well, you know, something to have to do. The incident, they asked if it was criminal or whatever occurred could potentially become criminal. Davidson said, quote, it's a workplace matter, a team incident, so it's a team decision. Whatever that is. Perry did not play in the team's 7-3 loss last week on Tuesday in Columbus against the Blue Jackets. He did travel with the team. He was immediately pulled from the game once the Blackhawks were notified. And at that point, the club began their investigation. So just tell us what you're investigating, and then we don't have to speculate about it. All right, shifting gears now. Easy one for the now unranked Michigan State Spartans. Took them 6 games to go from number 4 in the country to unranked. That, to me, is very surprising that they went that fast. Now, also, I did see this on the internet. We cannot reward losing. We can't do it. It doesn't matter if it's a good loss or not. Who did you win is what matters. And I saw a friend of the show talking about, the game against Arizona, and, taking Arizona, the number 3 team in the country, taking them down to the wire. You still lost. Like, the Butler win that's a good win, but Alcorn State, Southern Indiana, and now Georgia Southern are not necessarily world beaters here. And of course, the early loss to James Madison, like that's why they lost their ranking. They're 4-3. They have the same exact record as Michigan. Like, I don't really think it's that surprising. I think that's the way that the AP poll should work. You should rise and fall based on how you play from a week-to-week basis. That's the point of it. So for me, watching Michigan State last night against Georgia Southern, Georgia Southern's completely outmatched. They're 0-7 for a reason. That's a bye game. That's easy, but it's a good game to get your guys. You got to have games like these. You got to have games like these where your guys make some shots and they feel like the most dominant. They get their swag back a little bit. They're able to build their confidence. And the fact that it was a 6:30 tip-off is always user-friendly. We love that for us. But you get good, overall, good shooting, 50% shooting from your backcourt in Akins and a Walker. They combined for 27 points. 2 steals, 2 assists, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. And between the two, only had 2 turnovers. Like that's a pretty good outing there from the guards. Mady Sissoko had a productive day. Malik Hall had a productive day. Hogard came in off the bench, and that's one of those guys that a game like this, he finishes with 12, 2, and 4, and 3 steals to go along with it to boot. Like maybe that's a game that he starts to feel a little bit better about his performance, right? Because we already know what he said to Tom Izzo. He's like, if I keep playing like this, just bench me. At least he's honest about it. I can appreciate that style of leadership. Like if it's on you, it's on you. And if you're willing to come out there and say that, then that's half the battle. Half the battle is admitting that, hey, we might be in the wrong here. Like we may have a little bit of a problem. And when you go back to that Arizona game, Hogard got the start there, goes 5 of 14 from the field, 15 points on the day. Walker was 8 of 20. Akins was 5 of 10. And those are your only scores in double figures. Like the bigs got beat. And for this Michigan State team, with the amount of guard/wing talent that they have, the bigs are going to have to be able to complement that. And they're going to have to be able to provide more. Mady Sissoko, like I'm all in with him having 10 rebounds. Like that's awesome. In the game against Arizona, that is. 10 rebounds in 21 minutes is sensational. But only 2 points. Like there's got to be a way where you find yourself under the rim on one of these offensive rebounds that you can get a putback. Like you got to find yourself in position to have quality catches, whether in the low post or the high post, that can open up opportunities for other players. I like a big man that has a couple of assists, because that means that he's passing the ball out of the post, typically. So for MSU, who fell to 21 before that Arizona game and then dropped to them, I'm going to have to disagree with, Mr. Couch here. If you're not winning, you're not going to stay ranked. Like, it is what it is. We can't say, like, oh, it's a really good loss against a really good team. It is a good loss against a good team. You lost. Like, that's a problem. Like, the idea is not to lose. The idea is to score more points than the other team. So that I was kind of like, oh, geez. But Georgia Southern, and we knew this was going to be a difficult non-con for Michigan State. We knew that they had their hands full with Duke, Arizona, Butler. We didn't expect James Madison, but whatever. But had they, beaten James Madison to start the season, and either Duke or Arizona got one of them, like those are some pretty quality basketball teams. Those are what, top 10 teams look like right now. Arizona, Duke, Marquette, Purdue, like there's some levels to this. And Michigan State isn't there yet. It doesn't mean that they won't get there. It just means that they're not there as of right now. And Georgia Southern being the game where you get a 31-point dub, you start to feel a little bit good about yourself. And you need that because, you've got Wisconsin and Nebraska coming up for your first dose of Big Ten play. By the way, friendly tip-offs in both of those games before you get, Baylor, Oakland, Stony Brook, and Indiana State, who just played Toledo. Indiana State just beat Toledo recently. But Oakland, Campy's crew, I saw Justin Rose tweeting about this. Could this be the year the Campy's crew actually gets one on Michigan State? I would have to say probably not. But, that's because the guard play is always going to favor you in the tournament. Like, it's always going to favor you in the tournament. There's something about experienced guards that have have the ability to control your pace a little bit. Like, and be able to settle you down. Outside of that, like they've got time, but I don't think that it's I know a lot of people have tried to normalize it. I don't think it's normal to go from number 4 in the country to unranked in 6 games. Now, I have taken some flack about this because it's like, well, you talked about Michigan and how great they were. Michigan beat good mid-major teams. That's all they've done. And then they lost to Long Beach State at home. They lost to Memphis. They beat Stanford, and they got drilled by Texas Tech. Like, that's a tough trip to Paradise Island. It was anything but paradise. And now they got to go to Oregon on the 2nd for a 3:30 tip on FS1 against the Ducks on the road before welcoming in Indiana at 9 o'clock next week. Ugh. We'll step aside. More X's and Bros. John Wagner joins us next.
Huge here for Urban U. They are Michigan's favorite med spa locations throughout West Michigan and also on the east side of the state in Northville. And this is for any guy listening right now or lady. If you want the perfect holiday gift for somebody you care about, you need to think about the holiday specials happening at theurbanu.com. That's theurbanu.com. And for the holidays, Urban U is offering holiday tiers. Until December 30th through the end of the year, purchasing a holiday tier is the perfect way to treat yourself or that person in your life that you care about or your family. And you get your holiday gift shopping done quick at theurbanu.com. And what are holiday tiers? Holiday tiers are the best way to get rewarded big time for investing in your health, wellness, and beauty services. Simple and easy. If you want to take care of everything for the holidays, go to theurbanu.com.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Book your stay this fall in a luxurious first-class room and receive $50 premium play, a $20 spa credit, and a $25 dining credit. Rates are just $289 a night, Sunday through Thursday, and $339 on Fridays and Saturdays. Reserve your room now, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTab at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email FreddyThePizzaman@gmail.com.
X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Ben Glaze, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Join us on the horn right now, as he does on Wednesdays. He is our good buddy, John Wagner. Find him on Twitter, John Wagner Media. Johan, my good man, good morning to you. How are you? How's life? How are things post-rivalry week?
Anthony, I am a little slice of heaven, but I have to admit, I'm kind of shocked to hear you talk about rivalry week when you know what the real big news is this week. You know what the news is.
Big news this week.
The Tigers made it official on Tuesday and signed Kenta Maeda.
This is true. This is very true. All right, come on. Now, studio audience, relax. We'll see what he has in the tank. What does this mean for the Tigers moving forward, though? Because, you know, I'm trying to look back and go. I mean, I'm just trying to think about trying to open up that pipeline a little bit to the Asian player. We haven't seen too many in a Detroit Tigers uniform. Like this could this lead to a one Shohei Ohtani?
No, probably not.
Oh,
but in some ways, it's funny you say that because that's where I was going to take us, and I thought it would be a surprise, not to Shohei Ohtani, but to a name that might actually be bigger when this is all said and done, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And if you don't know anything about him, I promise you, by this time next year, you probably will, because he's a 25-year-old pitcher from Japan who's ridiculously talented. Ridiculously talented. Now you heard me say he's 25, right?
Yep.
He has pitched 7 seasons in Japanese professional baseball, which you can argue is not the major league, and I would agree, but it's close. And he has killed it in that league. His career ERA, I believe, is a 1.82 ERA. Career. And 7 years means he started at age 17, 18. That's absurd. He's immensely talented. And the best thing is if you sign him to a long-term contract, and I could, when I said those words, long-term contract, I heard Tigers fans recoil audibly because they're thinking of, Jordan Zimmerman. They're thinking of the final years of the Miguel Cabrera contract and, all those heebie-jeebies that those produce. This dude's 25. He's going to be rolling through prime years of a long-term contract. And if signing Kenta Maeda brings his interest to signing in Detroit, that would be a huge, and I use the word huge by design, huge deal for the Tigers. Huge deal.
Well, I can tell you this much. A quick Google search, as you were saying his name, I'm like, okay, all right, let's get on Yoshi and see what Mr. Yamamoto has for us here. Depending on what news source you like maybe the New York Post, Yamamoto bidding war will renew a Yankees-Mets war. Red Sox have the inside edge to Yamamoto, right? 3 best pitchers the Braves have a real shot at. I mean, it is absolutely electric. And yes, if Kenta works and opens up the pipeline a little bit, that would be fantastic. I would be all for that. And at 25, I will sign somebody to a 10-year deal. That means he's done at 35. Front load the contract and let's get busy.
You're right that there's a lot of competition for this guy. I totally get it. And I'm not telling you the Tigers have the inside track to sign him now. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're telling me there's a shot, you have my attention, you have my interest. This organization, since Scott Harris took over, has made lots of little deals. I shouldn't say lots. A fair number of little deals. But there have been no big splashes. And Maeda's not, honestly, a big splash either. That's a 2-year deal. It's front loaded. So even though it says 2 years, 24 mil, it's 14 mil this year and 10 next. So even if it doesn't pan out, and I hear again everybody audibly saying, yeah, he only gets 10 million. Yeah, but he only gets 10 million. That's not an outrageous break the bank signing like a Yamamoto would be, or like Ohtani would be, or some of the other big names that are out there. So
Ohtani plus Yamamoto is worth how many Little Caesars super slices?
More than my little mind can comprehend, Anthony. More than I can comprehend.
Look, I'm all for it. Let's go. I mean, with the Red Wings yesterday and Patrick Kane, you look at the Lions, a struggle on Thanksgiving Day. The Detroit Pistons yesterday with their disastrous loss to the Washington Wizards. I really thought, John, in my heart of hearts, that 2024 would see all 4 teams in Detroit professional sports make the playoff. All 5 if you include Michigan, and 6 if you include Michigan State basketball doing good things. And the Pistons are failing me. The Red Wings are deep in the race. The Lions, leading the NFC North, but they looked really shaky, need a big bounce-back weekend. It would be great to see the Tigers open up that checkbook a little bit and get people feeling really good about, come spring, we're going to have some serious action.
Well, it depends on what you mean by serious action with the Tigers. I mean,
playoffs, win the division.
Okay. See, now that's 2 different things, because the only way to make the playoffs as the Tigers are currently constructed is to win the division. There are too many teams ahead of them to get a wild card. There's just too many. And so it's win the division, which is doable. Not only did the Tigers sign presumably a good starting pitcher, they took him away from the Twins, who are the only team that was in front of them in the division. And the Twins also let Sonny Gray go. They're going to get really young in the rotation, actually younger than the Tigers are, even if you strip away Maeda and you realize the Tigers are young in the rotation, whether it's Skubal or Manning or Mize or Reese Olson or Joey Wentz or anyone else you want to name. That's a young core. Maeda makes them more veteran. The Twins are every bit that young. They're every bit that young. So that's a huge step forward. But to go back to your original premise, the Tigers have to do a lot more to get to be a playoff-worthy, division contender-worthy squad. Still a lot of ground to go.
Hey, look, I mean, only 11 games back of Toronto for a wild card berth, 12 games back at Texas. I think if you get Riley Green to play a full season and Casey Mize's elbow isn't hanging off the shoulder, I don't know. But I'll be damned. I did the same thing with the Pistons, and yeah, that's we know how that works. So I feel like God forbid anybody overachieve around this place, and we just accept they're young, well, it's going to take 38 years for a rebuild. Maybe we'll get to the playoffs before I die, John. All right, now to rivalry week. One team has a real good opportunity to punch their ticket, and it's Michigan taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes on Saturday for the Big Ten Championship. My question to you, did rivalry week deliver what you had hoped that it would? Michigan-Ohio State was a lot of fun. A little bit stressful there, too. Oregon, they boat raced Oregon State. That's kind of what we thought would happen. Then Oregon State's coach got hired to Michigan State. Georgia had a little bit of a scare against the Ramblin' Wreck there late in the fourth quarter. You had Washington. Washington State was a tight one through the fourth quarter. Washington winning by just 3 points. Florida State handled business against Florida. Alabama got lucky at the end. I mean, it was electric. Kentucky topped Louisville, just like you said, John. You called it.
Thank you on the Kentucky-Louisville. I wondered if you were going to bring that one up. That was
the only reason I brought it up was because of you.
Well, Kentucky handled them, too. I mean, that was, Alabama won. And that's about all you can say there. They did not play well enough to win. They basically got the game handed to them at the end. I was very, very singularly unimpressed by Alabama on rivalry weekend. I was very impressed by Michigan. They did a lot of the things that you need to do to be a championship team. And I know that your eyes are more on Michigan than Ohio State, but I do need to ask, give me the temperature of the room in Columbus amongst people who wear a lot of scarlet and gray in their wardrobe. I mean, are we looking to fire Ryan Day? Does he got to go immediately, or is he allowed to coach the bowl game and then he gets fired? What's the feeling there?
No, I don't think. I mean, some people are mad, obviously, and they've got some questions about maybe some decisions. And look, I mean, quite frankly, I thought Ohio State played a better game than Michigan. Michigan just happened to win the turnover battle, and they won it on the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I would disagree with that. I thought when a play needed to be made in that game, there was only one team that made the play, and that was Michigan. At a big, big moment, I thought Michigan rose to the challenge on every big moment. I really did. Yeah, I would disagree with you if you said that you thought Ohio State played better. I would disagree with that heartily. They played well, and at times did good things. But when the game was in the balance, man, I thought Michigan stepped up. If not every time, an overwhelming majority of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that, but I think that first interception there by Kyle McCord where the route gets jumped, and it's just, I mean, it's an awesome play there that sets up, Michigan 1st and 10, Will Johnson with the pick, getting it, well, not 1st and 10, first down and goal to go inside the 7-yard line. That's a drastic momentum changer right there. And that's a great play by Will Johnson. At the end of the game, when it is 30-24, McCord and company, they got 1st and 10 at the Michigan 37. It was 1st and 10 at the OSU 41. And that's where, it's such a strange series of events because the offensive line doesn't hold up against Michigan's D-line. That forces the errant throw that ends up getting picked off. That's the game, party time, everybody run around, everybody has a good time. But I don't know. They made the mistakes. Michigan capitalized on them. I'm not mad about that. It just kind of, that's kind of the way that I felt about it. That's about as fair as I could put it. Michigan won that game up front in the trenches, and they did so for the 3rd consecutive year. They're going to dog walk Iowa. This is going to be punishing. I usually don't call for bludgeoning.
Careful,
dog walk them. Dog walk them. Hey, question for you. Total yards.
How many points is Iowa getting right now, Anthony?
23.
And you think Michigan will cover that?
Poll question. Ryan, throw this up on the board. Higher total, Michigan net offense or punt yards from Iowa? I'm dead serious. That offense stinks. That is the 9th worst scoring offense in the country. They are the worst in yards per game. They're going to get cremated, John. They might get lucky and get a field goal. Maybe.
Yeah, and I know you have this and probably have it on the tip of your tongue or can find it pretty easily. It helps us a little that those two teams met during the regular season. I know that Michigan won. What I vaguely remember is they won pretty handily, but I don't remember the precise score. You got to remember, yes.
Who?
Iowa's offense would have to improve to be considered dreadful. Totally get it. Totally agree. Their defense is elite. Their defense is Michigan worthy.
Elite.
Their special teams. Oh yeah.
Elite. They played one team worth a damn, and they got beat 31-0 by Penn State. Their defense isn't elite. That's what happens when you play teams like Minnesota and you lose 12-10. You beat Northwestern 10-7. You beat Rutgers 22-0. Illinois 15-13. Nebraska 13-10. What? This team is awful.
What was the Michigan score, Anthony?
They didn't play. They didn't play this year. They played last year.
They didn't? Oh, was that okay? Is that what I'm remembering? Okay.
And they weren't any good last year.
Now their defense is pretty good.
Nah.
Their defense is very good.
Nah.
Hey, one of their star players on their defense last year is wearing Honolulu blue and silver. Isn't he pretty good?
Yeah, they got a guy that's the defensive back of the year in Cooper DeJean. Like you can have one good player. That doesn't mean you're any
They
good.
have more than one good player. Their defense is very good, Anthony. It's very good.
Oh,
very, very.
Hullabaloo.
Remember,
You told me the
all
same thing
trouble-
about Penn State. I don't believe you. You're lying to me.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. If it's Michigan and a bunch of points, that's not how Iowa rolls. Iowa is in tight, close games. And I'm not telling you the final score is going to be 10-9. Okay, I'm not telling you that. Michigan is going to eventually get their points. Okay.
Yeah.
But you said 23.5.
23, I believe. Yeah.
That would mean they're going to get 30 on Iowa, give or take. Because, Iowa finds a way to sneak 2 field goals or, they score a touchdown on a pick six and they got a bunch of them. Or something, there's a punt that's mishandled or something like that. I was really good on special teams. Watch out. Iowa will make a big special teams play against Michigan this weekend. You watch for it. Nod your head and say, oh, Wagner did call that. Okay? So, I'm not telling you Michigan loses. I'm not telling you that. I don't believe it's going to be the route that you are expecting. It's not going to be the boat race that you think it's going to be.
Nathan Carter from Michigan State put 108 yards on the ground and 20 carries against him. Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards are going to shred them. Roman Wilson's going to have a field day. J.J. McCarthy's going to go out there and put Cade McNamara's head on a spike. This thing is 49-0. 49-3. This is a bludgeoning right here, John.
49-3.
49-3.
I'll take the under on that.
On Iowa's 3, I could see that. Okay, they do struggle.
Okay, Anthony, I'm glad we have something to talk about next week. That's all I can say.
I can't wait. John, my friend, you enjoy championship week. He's John Wagner. Find him on Twitter, John Wagner Media. And he is afraid of Iowa's defense. I, for one, am not, my friend. Always a pleasure, partner.
Anthony, I didn't say I was afraid of it. I said watch out for it. That's all I'm going to say. Hope you and your listeners have a great rest of the week and a great weekend.
Oh, John. God bless him. Fewest points per game allowed this season. Michigan is number 1. Ohio State is number 2. Penn State's number 3. Iowa is number 4. I heard this conversation a little bit last night during the college football playoff ranking show. McElroy was like, Big Ten schedule and always good Big Ten. And I'm like, that's kind of you. That's kind of you. Over under in this game, 34.5. Can Michigan hit that by themselves? Hour 2 is next.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com. At MHSAA on Twitter and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive, boys and girls, high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Earn bonus points with M-Perks at Meijer for just one more way to save this holiday season. Shop groceries, apparel, gifts, and more, and earn points on it all. And right now, earn 2 times the points for every $1 you spend on select Meijer brand food. Earn points every time you shop and redeem them anytime you want. Make Meijer your one-stop shop for everything you need this holiday season. And with M-Perks, you'll save even more. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Friday, December 1st at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Single record of the year is Better Man. The album of the year, Killin' Time.
Come on up again, Clint Black.
This Killin' Time.
Clint Black with special guest Josh Grayson. Tickets start at $40. On sale now at the box office and etix.com. Clint Black and Josh Grayson. Friday, December 1st at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Roast Umber is a farm direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here. AB's doing a heck of a job, and I'm ready to drop some huge opinions about what he's talking about later today at 3 on the Michigan Sports Network.
You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning, Vietnam.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio. 21000. Our Myers Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well, BCSN, and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. You know, one thought about this in-season tournament. One, guys at least seem to care. That's a positive. I mean, with the money on the line, of course they're going to want the extra check, so that makes sense. It definitely had a better feel from last night's group play tournament games. Still, no idea what the hell's going on. But I will tell you this. Although the floors are awful, they are just god-awful. If you watch the Sacramento and Golden State game, that was at the Golden One Center last night in Sacramento. The fact that the court was gray and the stripe down the middle of it was blue, like, I don't mind that NBA Cup in-season tournament trophy being in the lane. I don't mind it being at half court. I just, like, the Miami Heat court the other night was just god-awful. I can't get over it, dude. I'm trying to watch it. It's like watching football at Boise State. Like, Smurf turf should be outlawed. It's terrible. Nobody wants it. Get it out of here. The turf, like, you shouldn't be able to have different colored turf. It should have to be green and replicate grass, and that just is what it is. That's how I feel about it. All that other gimmicky nonsense is for the birds. But I will say, at least we're getting some, we're getting some juice out of some of the guys in that league. Guys are playing with a little bit of purpose. Andre Drummond went under Hack-a-Shack the other night, and Billy Donovan and Joe Mazzulla had to have a conversation about it. Because Billy Donovan, head coach of the Bulls, looking over at the Celtics like, yo, what are you guys doing here? What's happening? Why are you doing this? Like, you're up 30. And Missoula, they meet at half court. Missoula's like, yo, we got to win by 38. Like, we have to win this game, and we got to win by this many points. And, Billy Donovan's like, oh, okay. Because the point differential plays a role in the tournament. So that part I thought was cool. And I thought about it last night, watching a little bit of the Warriors in Sacramento early on. Years ago, Frank Gargano would be able to confirm this for me. Chris Br0's would be able to confirm this for me. A lot of other folks that I worked with back in the day in morning radio when I was just strictly in Northwest Ohio in Toledo. Shout out to all of our listeners on Fox Sports 1230. But years ago, I was watching the Golden State Warriors. This is before they were the Warriors, right? They were just the semblance of their core was intact. Clay, Draymond, and Steph. And I was like, yo, this is like must-see TV right now. Like, if they're on, you have to watch them. Like, this is the way the game is supposed to be played because they were so fun. And I was thinking about all these years later. That was an excellent call. I'll stand on that one and beat that. I'll beat that like a dead horse. That, hey, I was early on that Dubs train. Early on it. But, man, they came on the television last night, and I'm like, I'm not going to make it through the first quarter. How in the world did I ever stay up? Am I old man yells at cloud? Is that what I've become? I'm like dozing off. It's like 10:15 last night. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it very much longer. I'm trying to hold out the best I can. Unbelievable. What's going on in the world of sports? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the headlines. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news. I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories in the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
All right, bad news bears. Jonathan Taylor's going to undergo thumb surgery, so the Colts star running back They're looking at maybe 2 to 3 weeks in total. He rushed for 91 yards and 2 scores on the victory Sunday over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hey, look, the Colts not mathematically eliminated. Actually, they're alive right now, which to me is just crazy. At 6-5, like everybody's alive except for 3 teams in the league. That's awesome, considering where we're at right now, headed into week 12. That's awesome. So good on the NFL. I heard Tom Brady's commentary about the league not being as good as it was. Like I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I do agree that they've tried to legislate the physicality and the hitting out of it, under the guise of player safety. Like, it's football. It happens. Guys are going to get knocked out. That's what you signed up for. I'm sorry if I sound, harsh or insensitive to it, but that's the cost of doing business right there. But I think the league's had more parity than ever. Like, there's a mini run here by Philly, a mini run by Kansas City. We can kind of see that, Kansas City, they just don't have, Tyreek Hill. That really hurts. Miami Dolphins are a fun story. The Lions are a great story. Like, there's a lot going on in this year's NFL that I'm really happy with. And the fact you look at, Carolina, they're done. New England is done. And who is the third team that's just out? Mathematically, they're just toast. Oh, Arizona, they're toast too. So they can win games, but then jockey for all the different draft seeding that they want. The NBA in-season tournament quarterfinal matchups are set. The Pacers host the Celtics at 7:30, followed up by that's on Monday, followed up by the New Orleans Pelicans traveling to the Kings at 10. Tuesday night, you'll see the Knicks playing the Milwaukee Bucks at 7:30, followed up by the Suns taking on the LA Lakers at 10. The winners of each one of those quarterfinals advance to the semifinals on December 7th at T-Mobile in Las Vegas. That'll be kind of fun. Eastern Conference teams will tip off at 5. Western Conference teams will tip off at 9. The championship game, the NBA Cup, $500,000 for every player on the roster, takes place on 8:30 on December 9th. So, plot twist here. It's kind of cool. All of these matchups, this will be the 5th time that all of these teams have played each other, which I think is kind of interesting. One more than teams typically play each other in a given season. They usually meet up 4 times a year. Sources say that Mark Cuban nears the sale of the Mavs stake to the Adelson family. Now, here's the deal. He sold the majority of his stake in the team, but he would remain governor of the franchise and in control of all basketball decisions. The agreement would be in the valuation range of $3.5 billion. The league's going to have to process this. According to the SEC filing, the Adelson family is selling almost $2 billion in stock in Las Vegas Sands Corp. to fund the purchase of a majority interest of a professional sports franchise pursuant to a binding purchase agreement subject to customary league approvals. What is he up to? He's also bailing on Shark Tank. Is Mark Cuban making a run for president? I'm just going to throw that out there. You could throw it back, but like, why are you leaving Shark Tank? Why are you remaining? You're dumping this large sum of money. You're not dumping it, but you're dumping the team for a large sum of money. Like, are you gearing up for a presidential race, Mark Cuban? Something. I mean, he's pretty outspoken. Seems like it would be something he'd be interested in. LaMelo Ball is out multiple weeks now with an ankle sprain. Bad news bears there for the Charlotte Hornets. The Wolves, Anthony Edwards had to exit the game last night with a hip injury. Took a tough fall, landed right on it. That wasn't good. Patrick Kane has officially signed his deal with the Detroit Red Wings. More on this coming up, so don't go anywhere. The Chicago Blackhawks have waived Corey Perry for unacceptable conduct. Rumors circulating that it has to do with one of his teammates' family members. The Blackhawks they said that's not true, but they haven't told us what exactly he got waived for. He's 20 games into a $4 million contract. Like, what's happening here? Georgia is 1, Michigan 2, Washington 3, Florida State up into number 4, Oregon 5, and Ohio State 6. Those are your top 6 teams in the newest college football playoff rankings. All Big Ten, Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen has declared for the NFL draft. He finishes his career with Wisconsin with 3,494 rushing yards, 35 touchdowns on 597 attempts. He eclipsed 1,200 yards rushing in each of his first 2 seasons, earning second-team All-Big Ten honors, and could receive a third All-League recognition when the offensive awards come out today. And, that's what we got for headlines. We're going to step aside. When we return, we're going to talk a little puck. The Red Wings signed Patrick Kane. We'll talk about it next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he is a managing shareholder at Br0's, soon to be Doran Mayhew at the end of the year. And with the merger, there is growth and a chance for you to fill an executive or other high-level finance-related roles, either at Br0 here in downtown Grand Rapids or over at the Doran Mayhew World Headquarters in Troy, or at any of their offices across the country and around the world. They have a national specialized talent pool with ideal candidates for long-term placement, ongoing support for post-placement success. So if you're looking for that next chapter in your professional career, talk to Josh Garvey and the team at Br0. Easiest way, you can call Br0, ask for Josh Garvey, or go to their website, BEENEGARTR.com, or look for Br0, soon to be Doran Mayhew, on Facebook and on Twitter.
Earn bonus points with M-Perks at Meijer for just one more way to save this holiday season. Shop groceries, apparel, gifts, and more, and earn points on it all. And right now, earn 2 times the points for every $1 you spend on select Meijer brand food. Earn points every time you shop and redeem them anytime you want. Make Meijer your one-stop shop for everything you need this holiday season. And with M-Perks, you'll save even more. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at freddythepizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit freddythepizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
And call in, text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports and Network. You know, in the NBA, the game can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, you know DraftKings Sportsbook has your back. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub. Best of all, it's safe, secure, and reliable. 24/7 support. You can deposit, withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. Placing $5 on a basketball wager can get you $150 instantly using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Now, if you or somebody who has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline. 800-270-7117. 21 plus, physically present in Michigan. Eligibility and deposit restrictions do apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. By the way, breaking news right now, an American V-22 Osprey has crashed into the sea roughly 2 miles away from an island off the coast of Japan. At this time, one person has been confirmed killed. The Japanese Coast Guard continues searching the area. 6 personnel were on board when the crash occurred. If you know what the V-22 Osprey looks like, that is a very large piece of equipment. Apparently, it had some sort of engine failure, and then the engine caught on fire prior to the crash. At this time, still waiting word from U.S. defense officials. So that's what you got. For more news on that side of the news circle, what you can do is you could follow different Instagram accounts like Northern Provisions. I highly recommend you do so. All right, now to the Detroit Red Wings. That's kind of a weird transition, but neither here nor there. Have to do it. Patrick Kane yesterday signed a 1-year, $2.75 million contract with the Detroit Red Wings. Kane spent his first 16 seasons of his NHL career with the Blackhawks before a trade to the New York Rangers last spring. 6 months out from hip resurfacing surgery, the 9-time All-Star has had a handful of interest, as many as 10 teams, including his hometown Sabres, the Florida Panthers, the Stars, the Leafs, the Boston Bruins. And then he made his final decision, narrowed it down to 2 Eastern Conference teams. No bonuses in this deal. He's 35 years old. He relocated his family to Toronto to rehab from the surgery. Very difficult surgery. I don't know exactly what hip resurfacing is, but I know it's an injury that a lot of folks haven't really come back from. Now he's got 1,237 points in 1,180 games during his NHL career, 4th most among active players. He's got 451 career goals, 6th most amongst active players. And according to sources, when he met with the Wings coach, Derek Lalonde, a.k.a. Newsies, Lalonde's X's and O's hockey acumen and vision for the club is what kind of inspired him. And he gets to reunite with Alex DeBrincat as well. Now, Kane was also in touch with other athletes who had this hip surgery, like the Capitals' Nicholas Backstrom, who recently stepped away from the game, as well as tennis star Andy Murray had it as well. The rebuild is going well. A lot of people want to know, first off, this isn't Patrick Kane of 10 seasons ago. That's number one. Number two, at his age, he'll be one of the elder statesmen in the room, which I think can bode well for this locker room. Still trying to learn what it's like to win at the next level, right? We're seeing them reap some of the benefits of the Alex DeBrincat trade. A lot of moves that were made in the offseason, smaller moves that weren't necessarily the big splash like DeBrincat, but moves nonetheless that have improved the overall team. I don't think and haven't thought that it stunts the growth of anybody. We've seen what it's like when you put out a roster of young guys that aren't necessarily ready to compete at that level. It is a different game. If you want a clear-cut example, you could look back to the Wings from the AA years with Larkin and Mantha and Athanasiou. How did that go for us? Or you can look at the present-day Pistons, where if you don't have anybody over the age of 12, you're going to struggle, right? If only one guy on your team is old enough to have a cocktail, you're going to have problems, right? At the level of professional sports, I mean, imagine you're going out there to play varsity hoops and you're fielding an all-freshman team. Like, you're going to go through your growing pains. We get frustrated, and as we should get frustrated, because it's what we're having to deal with. We've seen 4 seasons of this. We should be in a better position now. But we haven't added any legitimate veterans to the club on the Pistons side of things. On the Wings side of things, they have, and you're starting to see the benefits, right? And all the while, Dylan Larkin continues to grow older and continues to gain more experience and is really, he's coming off one of his best seasons of his career. Right? So maybe there's some parallels to where the Pistons are at right now and how long this thing has taken for the Detroit Red Wings. So they go out and they sign Patrick Kane. Why does this matter? If he's not the guy that he was 10 years ago, why do you care? Well, you should care. One, it's a very team-friendly deal. $2.75 million, and they had about $6 million left in cap. So they have $3 million plus when we get near the deadline. If we want to make a move there, we've got a little change in our pockets, which is awesome, right? I'm good with that. Also, you add a veteran who has championship-level experience, who can help guide some of the younger players on this team. I love that. I also love the idea that Patrick Kane chose Detroit. I don't know what any other team offered him, what those conversations were like. But I do know that a guy was basically looking for a club, was talking to 10 different teams, and chose Detroit. That takes me back to the early 2000s with the greatest team that has ever been assembled, regardless of sport. Those 0-2 Wings that won the Stanley Cup. That is the nastiest lineup in the history of lineups. There isn't another team that has ever featured more than that, ever. I know a lot of people are like, well, LSU, look at all that. They just had professionals. That Red Wings team in 0-2 had Hall of Famers everywhere. Everywhere. Guys wanted to come here. That's what's important to me. I want a culture and a franchise that guys are aware of the history, that are excited about being here, that are embraced by the fans. All of that matters to me, right? And so Patrick Kane, some people are very excited about it. Some people are not. Here's what ESPN had to say.
Massive. And you want to know why it's massive? Because he's going to Hockeytown. Hockeytown, USA. And for Patrick Kane, a lot of fans might not necessarily recognize this. He's had a history. When Patrick Kane was 13 years old, his mom dropped him off in Detroit, Motown. Dropped him off at 13 from Buffalo, their hometown, in search of playing at higher levels of competition. And in playing youth hockey in the Detroit area, he has some roots in Detroit. And dare I say, Pat Verbeek, among others, helped mentor him when he played in Detroit as a young kid, which then sprang him to then go and play in the London Knights. And, of course, the rest is history with what he's done since. But all of that to say, there are some roots there in Detroit. He's a good friend of Alex DeBrincat. He respects the original Six heritage. So those are among the factors that led to his decision, and it's a massive one in Hockeytown.
So third original Six team for Patrick Kane. Going back to Alex DeBrincat, let's dive into that, because Kane has assisted on 72 of Alex DeBrincat's career regular season goals, and 2 of his 3 90-plus point seasons have come with his buddy Alex DeBrincat. So how much of a factor was that in his decision, do you think?
Huge decision, and a huge factor in said decision. I'm going to tell you why. For Patrick Kane, he's a student of the game. Everybody that I've spoken to since Patrick Kane was young and up till now, he is a hardcore hockey aficionado. So what does that mean? People, isn't everybody? No, not everybody is. He eats, sleeps, breathes the game. His relationship with Alex DeBrincat, on-ice chemistry, off-ice chemistry, the way he's kind of projecting what his fit could have been with other teams. And they had some Zooms with several clubs. Many have been mentioned. But he felt like the fit plus that relationship pre-existing with DeBrincat would be a big factor in his decision-making.
So how big is that? And look, like, I'm not expecting this guy to come out here and, serve up 30 goals. Like, I'm not expecting him to come out here in December, and be a, 50-point-plus guy. That's not that. My expectation for this deal is very low. That's also why I really like it. It is a low-risk, high-reward situation here that Steve Yzerman has come up with. I love the deal. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about Patrick Kane. But not for maybe all of the other reasons that, when people hear the name that they are excited about it. I'm excited about it for what he might bring that might not pop up in the box score. We'll step aside. Big Worm. Chris Wormley joins us next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for Urban U. They are Michigan's favorite med spa locations throughout West Michigan and also on the east side of the state in Northville. And this is for any guy listening right now or lady. If you want the perfect holiday gift for somebody you care about, you need to think about the holiday specials happening at theurbanu.com. That's theurbanu.com. And for the holidays, Urban U is offering holiday tiers. Until December 30th through the end of the year, purchasing a holiday tier is the perfect way to treat yourself or that person in your life that you care about or your family. And you get your holiday gift shopping done quick at theurbanu.com. And what are holiday tiers? Holiday tiers are the best way to get rewarded big time for investing in your health, wellness, and beauty services. Simple and easy. If you want to take care of everything for the holidays, go to theurbanu.com.
Friday, December 1st at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Single record of the year is Better Man.
Leave and hear a better
The album of the year, Killin' Time.
Come on up again, Clint Black.
This killing time.
Clint Black with special guest Josh Grayson.
Nothing to lose.
Tickets start at $40. On sale now at the box office and etix.com.
Shoot the moon, not let it on good, run a bad luck.
Clint Black and Josh Grayson. Friday, December 1st at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org. Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
The wide receiver at the top of your screen. McCord looks, fires, intercepted. Wagner and Michigan will win the game and head to the Big Ten championship.
Oh, how sweet it is for the Maize and Blue, 30-24 victors over the Ohio State Buckeyes. Time now to welcome in, as we typically do on a Wednesday, a Wormley Wednesday. I'll just start calling it that. Our good buddy, Chris Wormley. Find him on Twitter, Chris_Wormley43. Chris, my man, good morning to you. How are you? How's life? How are things, partner, now that the Michigan Wolverines win their third consecutive head-to-head matchup against the Buckeyes, second consecutive undefeated regular season, and a chance for a three-peat for the Big Ten championship?
It's beautiful. It is an amazing time to be a Michigan Wolverine, whether you're a fan, or you went there, or you played there, or you're currently playing there, or currently going there. It's an amazing time. Extremely happy for the guys, extremely happy for the coaching staff, the players, everybody that's been involved in what is really a crazy, 12-week season for these guys. Super excited for them, and very happy that they got the win over Ohio State. It's the last 20, 30 years, it's unprecedented that they've gone 3 in a row. So let's keep this trend going.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That final play there, the interception, Rod Moore makes a great play on the football, but that all starts with the bodies up front. Michigan decides to send 4, drop 7. And the 4 defensive linemen that had been active all game long, causing a disturbance, getting to the quarterback. It's a quarterback hit. We'll tally the stat like that. Kyle McCord gets drilled at the point in which he's trying to step into his throw. And really, that's where it all starts. And every football game and every level, if you can control the line of scrimmage, you can win the football game. I thought they did a great job on that individual play, and then throughout the game on the defensive side of the football. And then on the offensive side, Michigan wins the ground game again. If you win the game on the ground, you win this matchup now 23 consecutive years. The leading team, the team with the most rushing yards ends up winning this football game. It all starts at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I thought the Michigan defensive line played a great game. I thought the offensive line moved people off the line of scrimmage. I think Chris Jenkins had one of his better games of the season this past game. He was flying around, making tackles at the line of scrimmage, shutting blocks, and I think he was a real catalyst for this team to get the win that they so badly needed. To go to the Big Ten championship. But I thought it, like you said, it started up front with the offensive line and defensive line. I thought they played a really good game.
In offensive line, Zach Zinter, unfortunately, he gets rolled up on. It's a pretty gruesome injury that Fox doesn't even replay it. I didn't see it. I'm standing there live. You can't see anything. It's just a mass of humanity. And unfortunately, when they signal for the cart and that air cast comes off, it's ugly, right? And the crowd chanting, "Let's go, Zach!" As it was silent, you could have heard a pin drop in there. Joel Klatt, I thought, did a really nice piece on that yesterday, just talking about the emotion and the feeling inside that building. And really, you can go one of two ways when you see a teammate go down. Michigan decided that, hey, that wasn't going to be it for them. They immediately go Blake Corum, left tackle, right off of his replacement, and he goes all the way to the house the very next play. You talk about, inspiring, wanting to do it for your teammates. You never want to see anybody go down in a position like that. Hell, you're a guy that's fighting back from injury, and we'll get to that here in a moment, too, from your performance on Sunday. But just to be able to feel that sort of emotional pendulum swing in that game was huge.
Yeah, I think Michigan all season has been fighting adversity. Obviously, with those first 3 games with Harbaugh not being there, to these last 3 games with Harbaugh not being there, they've responded to each adverse situation that they've been in all season. And this was just another thing that they kind of, put their head down, smile in the face of adversity, and continue to go to work. And I think instead of using Zinter's injury as something that was going to crush this team. Obviously, he's one of the better players on the team, a leader, a senior on the team that was somebody that everyone kind of looks up to. And like I said, as a leader, they use that as motivation to go out there and continue to dominate and continue to put on a show. And like we saw that next play, Corum, the left side of the offensive line and scores that touchdown, which really was a big momentum shift for the team and for the Wolverines, because on that next possession, the Buckeyes didn't score. And I think that was one of the first possessions after Michigan had scored that Ohio State couldn't rebuttal.
Chris, this might have been the last time that this game has its own, the amount of, I don't want to say meaning, because it's always going to mean something. And there have been some in this rivalry that maybe haven't put the emphasis, calling it, just another game and maybe trying to downplay it a little bit. And that hasn't necessarily worked out so well for the Buckeyes the last couple of years. But this game will be the last one of its kind with an expanded 12-team playoff format. Things will be different. They very much would look like kind of, I would assume, what the Pac-12 will look like, where Oregon and Washington will meet up again for the second time to determine who is the Pac-12 winner, and they have to play again. If Oregon beats Washington, even though they lost earlier in the regular season, one would think that Oregon would get the nod into the college football playoff. So it's really strange. Moving forward now, under this scenario, you would assume that Michigan, being undefeated, goes to the Big Ten championship. If they beat Iowa, I guess I got to say if, they would advance, and then Ohio State would probably get in via an at-large bid. Does that make this one, do you see it the same way as I'm seeing it before I get to my next question here about this individual game, that with an expanded playoff, it just kind of changes maybe the dynamic of this game, that it isn't necessarily do or die anymore?
Yeah, not even with the expanded playoffs, but even right within the Big Ten. I think after next year or even this year, when the new teams come, they're kind of going away with the divisions. And I think I'm not sure what the exact rules are, but if I remember correctly, it's the two teams with the best Big Ten records get to meet up in the Big Ten championship. So you could essentially have Michigan and Ohio State playing, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, the Big Ten championship a week later, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, or however long it is, play in one of the playoff games against each other, depending on what their records are, or even in the national championship, however the seeding works out. But you could have the game essentially 3 times in a month and a half span, and it's not necessarily win or go home situation anymore, like it's really been for 119 years. So it's going to have a little bit of meaning, but I think the first game, that's the one that's always going to be guaranteed, the last game of the season, Ohio State, Michigan. I think it's going to have a big meaning still, and it's going to hold a lot of weight, even moving forward, even when they could potentially play 3 times within a year.
Now, I don't know for sure the answer to this, and I don't expect you to know this either. But it's more of just like food for thought here, as the College Football Playoff Committee moves into this 12-team format. In my expert opinion here, they have to do what the NCAA tournament does, and they need to create some sort of barrier so we don't see conference matchups, at least in the first round. Like they got to do something to keep this or seed it properly, whether it's an unofficial rule or officially a rule, where you don't see, a repeat of the Big Ten championship game or a repeat of the SEC championship game in that very first round. Like mix it up and let's run around a little bit and let's have some fun. Now, moving forward to Iowa. Iowa is a team, Chris, that they are dead last in yards gained per game in total offense there. Dead last in all of college football, not just in the Big Ten. They are 9th worst in all of Division I college football as far as points per game are considered. A lot of people want to talk to me about Iowa's defense. I just don't see it. And what I've seen from Iowa this year, I mean, I really feel, I don't usually talk like this, but I feel overly confident about the Maize and Blue on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I think the past 2 years, and really ever since the East and West divisions have been made up, like the East division usually comes out with the win. I know Wisconsin had a few good years. But especially these last handful of years, whether it's Penn State, Ohio State, or Michigan, they've kind of and especially like these last 2 years with Ohio State and Michigan, like that's kind of been the Big Ten championship game, really. And I think Michigan should handedly beat Iowa. I'm not too concerned about their defense. I think if and that's a big if Michigan loses this game on Saturday, that they shouldn't be allowed to be in the college football playoff just based off of those stats that you kind of just ran off for Iowa in terms of their yards per game, their scoring. I know they have a good defense, but this should be an easier game than the last even 3 weeks that Michigan's played, and they should kind of roll right into the college football playoffs.
Now, if they are to win, and we can discuss this again next week once we have the crown, right? We can do all this again, but for me, I'm never going to take the a victory over Ohio State routinely. I know that Dave Portnoy, El Presidente, had said, it's usual, we're on to the Big Ten championship. That's usual. You got to win a game in the college football playoff. But since I'm never going to say that because that's ridiculous. I know what it's like. You know what it's like. It ain't great, right? And so when we look at now Michigan, the state of the program and where it's at moving forward, how do we sort of like quantify what the new standard is at Michigan?
Yeah, I think the standard should always be to beat Ohio State and to win Big Ten championships. That's kind of been the goal and the standard since Bo Schembechler's been there. And I don't think that's going to change just because of all that tradition and all that history that has kind of built up to the year of 2023. But once you do, usually if you do those two things, in Michigan's case, you go to the college football playoffs. And at some point, you're going to have to start winning some of those games. And you never want to take for granted Big Ten championships and beating your biggest rival in Ohio State. But I know that these guys in that locker room, they want more than that. All those guys that have been there have done that now, 3 times in a row. And especially those guys that have been there for a long time, they've done that 3 times in a row, and they're going to win another Big Ten championship. But they haven't won a national championship, and they haven't, even won a college football playoff game yet. So for those guys' standards, they know what it takes to get there. Now they just have to kind of finish it off and get that signature win in the playoffs.
Boy, would that be something too? And this could potentially, if they are to beat Iowa, it feels like all signs will point to that Pac-12 championship winner and Michigan, the Big Ten championship winner. A little foreshadowing here. All signs would point to them going back to the Rose Bowl. And so very much a historical walk back in time for the fans when the Rose Bowl meant everything to college football fans in this area and out west. Very nostalgic, the possibilities that may be out there. Now, to you, Mr. Wormley, making your 2023 season debut last week for the Carolina Panthers. You get 5 on the box score, too, with a tackle. You'll love to see it. How was it, man? I know that we talked about it when you first got back on the practice field, like first day at school. Was it nerves? How'd you feel? Did you feel like you were in shape? We kind of went through all that. Now, finally back walking out of a tunnel, going to play a real football game. Man, what was that like for you?
It was great. Obviously we didn't get the win, and our coach was let go yesterday. But personally, it was, I've been working almost a full year. It was 350 days since the last time I was on a football field playing a game. And it was just one of those things where, like, you put in this work for 11 months straight, and now you finally get to see that reward. And, I was in there for 10 snaps, and as the weeks go on, I'm going to continue to get those numbers up and the snap count. But, I made a tackle. I felt like I contributed in a positive way to the team. But just to see all that hard work and sacrifice pay off on a Sunday, it honestly meant everything. Just to be able to know that what I did worked, the process worked, and that I still got a little left in the tank.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned with Frank Reich, I think is a guy that a lot of people really do like, in football circles as well. Deuce Staley, obviously the running backs coach there in Carolina with his tie to Detroit. Frank Reich's going to be a name that Lions fans are going to stash away in the event that we lose our offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, this upcoming offseason. He garnered a lot of interest last year. Carolina's where he's from. There was a phone call there. Obviously, I know that you're not sitting up in the front office discussing these things, but I wanted to go through kind of what it's been like thus far this week with all of the change that has taken place. How does that affect you as a player in the locker room?
Yeah, I think, as a player on the defensive side of the ball, our whole defensive staff is still there. And my process this whole time is to continue to do, keep the main thing. And for me, that's, I got my workouts in yesterday and today. I'm continuing to get my rehab, and tomorrow's a Wednesday install and getting the game plan going. So as much as it is of a organizational shift and change it is to lose our head coach and two coaches on the offensive side of the ball, I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but nothing is going to change for us on defense and how we play and prepare, just like we have all along. We have a top 10 defense in the NFL, and we're going to continue to push and make our way to a top 5 defense here in the next 6 weeks. So we're excited for this challenge. We're excited to get some wins out of these next 6 weeks. But as a player on the defensive side of the ball, not much has changed other than who runs our team meeting for us on Wednesdays.
That's kind of interesting. And I wonder if some of the guys on the offensive side of the ball might look at it the same way. Like, hey, at the end of the day, sure, there's a lot of organizational shift right now, but we still got to go do our job. Like, we still have to go out there, and we can't, it's not the end of the world. The sky is not falling. Like, we still have a job to do. We still have a game to do on Sunday. So I wonder, picking the brain of an offensive player over there, if that's something that they look at you guys and say, we got to put our heads down and do the same exact thing and just keep working at it. By the way, was there a wager made inside your locker room with one of your Buckeye teammates?
No, Vaughn and I never
He's scared.
Made the bet. He was definitely quiet on the plane ride to Nashville yesterday or on Saturday. As we were scrolling, watching the game, he was definitely quiet. But he got the best of me the 3 years we played together. So I don't have a whole lot to say as far as trash talking, because he always has it in his back pocket that I never got the win against him. But that's kind of the way it's been. And like I said, these last 3 years have been great for a fan. As a fan now, it's been fun to watch.
It's a beautiful thing. His name is Chris Wormley. Find him on Twitter, Chris_Wormley43. Chris, is always my friend. An absolute pleasure to have you join us. Thank you so much for your time today, partner, and best of luck to you this coming weekend.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Anthony.
Snow was on the ground. That means golf season might have officially come to an end, but it's never too early to start thinking about your 2024 getaway. And plus, in the off season, our friends over at Tullymore are ready to welcome you with open arms, whether it's an event, a wedding, a reception, some sort of group outing, a corporate outing. They've got the perfect space and all the accommodations right there on the grounds to make your getaway this winter even that much more special. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. We're back with Hour 3 next here of X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Don't miss holiday deals at Meijer. Shop select Lego playsets for 30% off. December home holiday indoor decor is buy one, get one 50% off. And December home holiday ornaments and lifelike trees and Philips lights are 20% off. These deals and products won't last long at these prices. Head to Meijer today to shop holiday deals in one stop. Plus, pay the same low buyer price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Book your stay this fall in a luxurious first-class room and receive $50 premium play, a $20 spa credit, and a $25 dining credit. Rates are just $289 a night, Sunday through Thursday, and $339 on Fridays and Saturdays. Reserve your room now, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner. To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Smarty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. Hour number 3 on this Wednesday. It is the 29th day of November 2023. Can you believe it? Friday is already December 1st. Where does 2023 go? My goodness. What a year. How fast. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. Man, we welcome you back here. Hour number 3. That's Ben Glaze and Ryan Elke. I'm Anthony Bellino. As we say good morning to you, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We'll welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 866-838-4843. 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add.com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can always hit us up. I think I gave that to you. All individually on Twitter. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. Ben Glaze is at the Ben Glaze. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. All right, let's take a look around the world of sports right now. We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings right now in the headlines.
Big news. I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Huge news. The Michigan State Spartans roll last night over Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern still without a victory on the season. They are 0-7, 86-55 your final score. How about the Michigan State Spartans defensively in the first half? Surrendered just 11 points. 11 points. No wonder Georgia Southern's 0-7. Great game there from Sparty. Get back on the winning track, build a little confidence, get some things going in a very, very impressive defensive first half there by Michigan State. By the way, number 1 Purdue, they rolled over Texas Southern 99-67. Number 3 Marquette with a 93-56 win as well last night. Kansas was a winner. Kentucky beat Miami 95-73, and Georgia Tech with an upset over number 21 ranked Mississippi State 67-59. The Indianapolis Colts running back Jonathan Taylor is going to undergo thumb surgery, so he could be out 2 to 3 weeks, according to Jim Irsay. That's what he's saying. 3-year, $42 million extension was signed in October. He returned to the lineup. Taylor has 414 yards on 100 carries since returning. That's not bad. 4.14 yards per carry. Not too shabby. If Taylor misses, it'll be Zach Moss. So adjust your fantasy lineups accordingly. The NBA's in-season tournament quarterfinal matchups have been set. The Pacers will host the Boston Celtics Monday night, 7:30, followed by the Pelicans traveling to the Kings at 10. Tuesday night, we'll see a pair of group stage matches between the Knicks playing the Bucks at 7:30, followed by the Suns and the LA Lakers at 10 o'clock. The winners of each of those quarterfinal games will advance to the semifinals December 7th at T-Mobile in Las Vegas. Eastern Conference teams will tip off at 5. The West will tip off at 9. Tournament championship game is 8:30 on December 9th for $500,000 per player on the roster. What was interesting about this, last night, the Celtics, they needed a big dub, and they were able to get it. They went into a Hack-a-Drummond mode, and it had Billy Donovan and Joe Mazzulla discussing some things. He's like, look, man, we got to win this game by 38 points. There's, seeding and all kinds of things taking place, I guess. Mark Cuban nears the sale of the Maverick stake to the Adelson family. So here's the deal. Mark Cuban is going to sell a significant portion of the Dallas Mavericks to the Adelson family in the range of $3.5 billion. And then he has also left Shark Tank. So my inquiring mind is to why is he dumping Shark Tank, and he's still going to remain as the governor of the franchise and in control of all basketball-related decisions, but he's going to relinquish a large share of the team. I think he purchased for $280 million, somewhere in that range, $285 million, I believe, in 2000 when he purchased the team. $3.5 billion valuation. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So he'd get about $2 billion in return off that valuation. The Hornets' LaMelo Ball is going to be out multiple weeks with an ankle sprain. That is not good news there for the Charlotte Hornets, who have just been an absolute debacle. Charlotte, Memphis, man, they were so close, but obviously Memphis for different reasons. You can't really control injuries. You can control the way you behave, however. The Minnesota Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards had a hard fall last night. Hurt his hip, left the game. Not good. We'll see what happens with him with that bruised right hip, how long he will be out. By the way, we haven't talked about the Josh Giddey story. Still waiting for more developments, but there's an accusation that the OKC star was involved in an improper relationship with a minor. The question is, what is the age of consent? I've seen multiple things on the internet about this story. I believe Giddey's 21. I think the girl in question is roughly like in the range of 16, but Oklahoma has different age of consent rules than what we have. I don't know. It's a mess. We'll wait till more details come out on the investigation, and once we have some firm details, we'll go with that. Patrick Kane is officially a Detroit Red Wing, so congratulations to the Wings. As many as 10 teams were in the conversation with Patrick Kane. He signed a one-year, $2.75 million deal with the Wings. It's all salary. There's no bonus structure in there. I love this deal for the Wings. I think it's great. I don't love this deal because I believe that Patrick Kane's going to go out there and score 50 goals in 3 weeks. I love it because he chose Detroit. I love it because he can be an influence in that locker room. He has a championship pedigree. He works very well with Alex DeBrincat. If he cracks into the top six, Joe Valeno's got some good run there at the top line. This team has been so one-line dependent that they need more quality players, period. And if the hip resurfacing surgery goes well and he's able to recover and get back, maybe he'll never be back to 100% of where he was 10 seasons ago, but if he can get back to close to 100% of where he's at as a 35-year-old, I'll take it. The Blackhawks have waived Corey Perry for unacceptable conduct. They are trying to refute the rumors and claims that are going on around the internet right now that it was a relationship with Connor Bedard's mom. However, we don't know what this we don't know what's going on here. All they said is that it had something to do with something in the organization, and that's all they're going to say. However, it is not criminal. Florida State joins Georgia, Michigan, and Washington in the college football playoff top four. So we have that. The All-Big Ten Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen has declared for the NFL draft. He's been injured a lot this year. He's been in and out of the lineup. It just kind of is what it is for him. All Big Ten teams were announced yesterday. We'll get into that. Plus, we'll dive into the college football playoff rankings and take a look at what the Pistons need next because they have some serious soul searching to be able to do. And I want to get to this comment from Nate on YouTube. He said, my Pistons assessment is I see NBA talent. It's young. The team is athletic as most other teams. Pistons show no teamwork on offense and on defense. A lack of organization is killing the Stones. I think that's a pretty good assessment. I think that they have a pretty good collection of young talent, but it just doesn't – the roster just doesn't make a lot of sense, right? They've got all these bigs and they've got all these guards, but where is the quality wing presence that they need? Right? They just don't have that. They have a very young Asar Thompson who is a hell of a player. Doesn't shoot it great from three right now. That will improve. And Asar Thompson would be on my absolutely untouchable list along with Jalen Duren. But, I mean, as for the rest of this team, I'm glad that they're starting to give Jaden Ivey the minutes that he deserves. So we'll dive into that as well. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
It's time to go in the huddle. 1, 2, 3, top flight.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a new day for winning only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com. The game, Michigan against Ohio State. The third-ranked Wolverines hosting the second-ranked Buckeyes in an all-time top 5 matchup. What a day it was for the Maize and Blue on a cold Saturday afternoon. It was the Wolverines picking up their third consecutive victory over the Buckeyes, matching their mark from 1995 to 97 and securing their second straight undefeated regular season. Even without their suspended head coach Jim Harbaugh, even losing Will Johnson and All-American guard Zach Zinter, and interim head coach in Sharon Moore, the Wolverines made the plays necessary to win the game. You must win the turnover battle, and you have to win the ground game if you're going to win this one. And Michigan did both. And that sets them up for their third consecutive trip to Indy, where they'll take on the West Winners, Iowa, at 8 p.m. on Saturday on Fox.
Don't miss holiday deals at Meijer. Shop select Lego playsets for 30% off. December home holiday indoor decor is buy one, get one 50% off. And December home holiday ornaments and lifelike trees and Philips lights are 20% off. These deals and products won't last long at these prices. Head to Meijer today to shop holiday deals in one stop. Plus, pay the same low buyer price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Van Andel Institute Purple Community is a grassroots fundraising network powered by the dedicated volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve human health now and in the future. When you raise funds through the Van Andel Institute Purple Community, 100% of the proceeds go directly to the Institute's research into diseases like cancer and Parkinson's, as well as VAI's science education programs. Learn how you can get involved at purplecommunity.org.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000. Join us on the Meyer Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. That's where we find Joe in GR on the line. Wants to talk about the Patrick Kane signing. Good morning to you, Joe. How are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, my man?
Not much, brother. How are you? Joe and GR, what's happening?
Hey, bro, I figured I better call while it's my People's Month, before it ends tomorrow.
I'm glad you did.
Indigenous Peoples Day. Yeah, that's our month, Native American, they call it heritage, but it's our culture, right? We're born into it. We don't pick it up as we grow up. So anyways, I wanted to call and say hi, but I think you hit it on the point about the Kane signing. If we get 20 goals or 40 points from that, we are relying so much on that first line and those forwards for our scoring that I don't care if he's on the second or third line as a winger. He's going to draw some attention to hopefully free up some more shots. But I agree with you. If we get 40 points from him, it's a great signing, man. Just the presence he brings, as well as his hockey knowledge, especially with the younger guys that are coming up from, from up here from Grand Rapids in the Griffin system. So I think it's a great signing. I hated him when he played for Chicago, but I think it's going to help them. And what a surprise they are this year. Just a fun team to watch. Mo Snyder, I'm telling you, that guy's going to be a beast, bro.
Yeah, he's a franchise piece for sure. He and Lucas Raymond have been. I mean, those are just such wonderful selections by this front office in the draft. And I think with Patrick Kane, even if he doesn't, let's say he just gets 20 points. Let's just, if we had to put a number on it, let's say he goes over anything over 20 points. His ability to pass and his vision out there, and we don't know how long he'll last. Like, he might go 10 games and he might flame out and be like, no, there's no way. I just can't do it like that. Not too many people have come back from this hip resurfacing surgery. So it's kind of a delicate injury to try to come back from into play NHL hockey where, it's a full sprint, 60 seconds at a time. We'll see what he actually can provide from a production standpoint, but I just think having another guy like that in the locker room is a sign that Steve Yzerman believes, like, hey, this guy might be healthy enough to give this a go. He believes that he is, and he wants to come here. Like, absolutely. His vision alone is going to be able to help, control the puck. And so many times we've struggled in the past with carrying the puck through the neutral zone. We're not a real great dump and chase team. And usually if you have to do that, you're struggling to bring it in on your own anyways. So I really like what he might be able to provide, even if it doesn't necessarily pop up in the box score, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's like, I don't know. So I watch the Lightning a lot because I like Kucherov. But if you watch them, this year's version, it reminds me a lot of where we are at on the wing side. Is they suck at dump and chase, bro. And there is no vision on the ice. Like, these young guys, they got the skill, the raw talent, but they don't have that that veteran presence. And I think that's what Kane's going to bring. I'm excited. I think it's going to alleviate some pressure on the defensive side, and hopefully, we can move that puck through that neutral zone just by his passing skills, like you said, man. I'm happy with 20 points. 40 might be setting it high, but 20 points, I think I agree with you 100% that if he makes it through that, I think the first 10 games are going to be important to just kind of see how he skates.
No doubt about it. And Joe and GR, I didn't know if you knew this, but I only learned this from one of our features that we ran at the Lions. Did you know that one of our Detroit Lions cheerleaders is Native American?
I did not. I didn't even know the Lions had cheerleaders, bro.
Well, true story. That is true. Jackie is her name.
You know what nation?
No, I forget. But they do weekly spotlights on the cheer team.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Jackie, and they when they did the spotlight and they air it at the home games during our pregame show in the stadium. there at Ford Field. They definitely, they had videos and pictures and whatnot from her going to, I don't know, in my culture, it would just be like a festival. So I don't know exactly what you guys call it, but it would be something along those lines.
I'll have to check it out. Hey, did you see that mask Andrew Fleury wore the other night, eh?
No.
It was a Nishnab designed floral mask. And the NHL, hey, they said he couldn't wear it because of their new policy on, all the special equipment honoring different things. Oh, he wore it anyway, and then they were going to fine him, but then they decided not to fine him because of the social pressure, and Gary Bettman is the worst commissioner in all of sports, bro. And anyways, I thought it was cool. You should look it up. It's a really classical floral Anishinaabe design, and he wore it because his wife is indigenous and his kids are. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm looking at it right now, man. What a sweet design that is for Marc-Andre Fleury. Yeah, like all white with the yellow and the green and red floral patterns. I like that a lot.
Yeah, man. I thought it was sweet, man, and props to him for acknowledging that. I thought Edmonton did a good job last night at their game, acknowledging the land acknowledgement that they do on their pregame. So, yeah, man, I just thought I'd call because it was Native American month, and I was like, man, I ain't talked to Anthony in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell? I thought I was wondering where G.R. Joe went. I was wondering what the hell was going on. There's something on his mask as well. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't make it out. I don't know what language it is. Maybe it's I don't know what it says. Something though on his mask above his eyes, right before the white paint kicks in.
I'm looking it up right now.
All right, you look it up, and I need a full report, man. I like that. Maybe the Wings should do something. That'd be kind of cool. We just wouldn't be able to play the Blackhawks.
Absolutely. Oh, it's So it's Minnesota, and it's just the traditional language for Minnesota.
Oh, okay. All right. See, learn something new every time you call. I learn something.
Yeah. So Michigan's what we called Michigan is Michigami.
That's right. I knew that. I saw that at Soaring Eagle. They have like at the casino. They have like a big, I don't know, in the pathway to like the food to the actual gaming floor. There is I don't know, like a mural maybe is a good way to put it. Like like on the wall and whatnot. Kind of takes you like a walk through time. Very, very cool.
Yep.
Good deal. Yep. GR Joe, man.
Hey, dude, have you ever checked out that show Shorzy yet on Hulu?
What's it called?
Shorzy.
No. What's it about?
Oh, dude, check it out. It's about adult hockey league. I don't know if you ever watched Letters of Kenny, but that dude is in it. It's funny. It's about hockey in Canada. Got a lot of indigenous people in it, and it's hilarious, dude. It's hilarious. You should check it out. If you like Goon, if you ever watched that, or if you like raw comedy, you'll love that show.
All right, there it is. Shorzy on Hulu. GR Joe checking in live during Native American Heritage Month. My guy. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate the call this morning, my friend.
Bro.
All right, brother. There he goes. Joe and GR. And I love that. See, learn something new every day. And really, like, I don't think that, I think that we have to see what Patrick Kane can provide from a production standpoint when it comes down to, total point production. And we'll see, how he is and how he's skating out there, the minutes that, he gets. He might start off in like the fourth or the third line, depending on, what kind of shape they believe he's in, because no matter how you train, there is nothing that can ever, like people say in practice, you got to go game speed. It's so hard to replicate game speed. It's so hard because even when you're scrimmaging, it's at the end of the day, it's still your teammate, right? And so you may ease off on a puck. You may ease off on a pass. You know what I mean? Just because that's your teammate. You don't want to go hard into the corner with your own guy like you would if you were playing an opponent. So we'll see how long it takes him to get into game shape. I mean, that could take weeks. We have no idea, but it's exciting regardless. We're going to step aside when we return. A fix for the Pistons plus the college football playoff rankings. Don't go anywhere. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for Urban U. They are Michigan's favorite med spa locations throughout West Michigan and also on the east side of the state in Northville. And this is for any guy listening right now or lady. If you want the perfect holiday gift for somebody you care about, you need to think about the holiday specials happening at theurbanu.com. That's theurbanu.com. And for the holidays, Urban U is offering holiday tiers. Until December 30th through the end of the year, purchasing a holiday tier is the perfect way to treat yourself or that person in your life that you care about or your family. And you get your holiday gift shopping done quick at theurbanu.com. And what are holiday tiers? Holiday tiers are the best way to get rewarded big time for investing in your health, wellness, and beauty services. Simple and easy. If you want to take care of everything for the holidays, go to theurbanu.com.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Book your stay this fall in a luxurious first-class room and receive $50 premium play, a $20 spa credit, and a $25 dining credit. Rates are just $289 a night, Sunday through Thursday, and $339 on Fridays and Saturdays. Reserve your room now, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at FreddieThePizzaMan.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit FreddieThePizzaMan.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
Miss any of today's show? Find our podcast and listen on demand on Google, Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino, here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. You know, in the NBA, the game can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, you know DraftKings Sportsbook has your back. This week, new customers can score 150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub, and best of all, it's safe, secure, reliable, 24/7 support. You can download. You can download your money, or we call it a deposit, and withdraw your cash whenever, wherever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers get 150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Now, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, physically present in Michigan. Eligibility and deposit restrictions to apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball. Terms. An Iowa fan is in my mentions calling me a female dog. Look, bro, here's the deal. Between Cade McNamara and Deacon Hill, your two quarterbacks, they have 9 passing touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Your running backs, or running the football, I should say, because Deacon Hill has 2. You have 11 total touchdowns. You have a total of 20 touchdowns scored on offense. Blake Corum has 22. Like, what could you possibly be saying to me right now? Like, don't be mad at me because you guys can't score and your offense is just god-awful. God-awful. Think about that. Blake Corum has as many touchdowns on the ground as Michigan State has all season. He's got more touchdowns on the ground than all Iowa offensive players. That's insane. That's insane. Now, luckily for Iowa, they have added a touchdown on an interception, so I guess that gets him to 21. But Blake Corum has outscored the Hawkeyes by himself. Like, stop it. Stop it. You're the one that chooses to watch that, not me. That's your team, not mine. You guys won't move on from your head coach. Like, I don't know. What does Iowa do? When the divisions are done, they're cooked. They are toast. That's the only way the West survives. The only way is because of the divisions. When they scrap that, it's a wrap. They're never going to. You won't have to have a West representative. Minnesota, never going to be in the Big Ten championship. Illinois, never going to happen. Purdue, not going to happen. Moving forward, Wisconsin, no. Northwestern, no. Iowa, no. Like, when do you think, if we were to look at the 7 teams in the Big Ten West, 7 of them, right now as it stands, and then you add in the new 4 Big Ten members that'll be coming here next year, out of the original 7 members of the West, will any of them ever make the Big Ten championship game? That's a legitimate question. Like, Luke Fickell in Wisconsin has the best bet. Because, first year in there, 7-5. Cool. Underachieved a little bit of what I thought they were going to be able to do. Defense wasn't as stout as they normally are. But, I mean, Iowa beating their chest. Look at this defense. Okay, look at this defense. This Iowa defense has allowed 146 points. Michigan's allowed 123 and pulled starters in how many games? The best defenses in the Big Ten. Michigan 1, Ohio State 2, Penn State 3, Iowa 4. Okay, cool. Oh, Iowa's defense. John Wagner tried to give me that. Well, if Michigan's 1 and Ohio State is 2, Michigan scored 30 against Ohio State and scored 24 against Penn State. 30 and 24 against defenses 2 and 3 in the conference. What do you think they're going to do against defense number 4? Honestly here. Michigan State scored 16 on them. Penn State beat them 31-0. Like, how exactly is your defense going to be on the field the entire game? Because if your offense can't move the football, what we like to say in football terms is complementary football, right? Your offense has to complement your defense and vice versa. Your defense needs to get 3 and outs and force punts and be able to do so to set your offense up in good field position. And then your offense must have sustained drives or build leads to where your defense doesn't have their backs pinned against the wall the entire time. That's it. Complementary football. Who have they played? Nobody. They lost to Minnesota 12-10. For the love of, what are we talking about right now? They beat Nebraska 13-10, Illinois 15-13, Rutgers 22-0, Northwestern 10-7, lost to Minnesota 12-10, beat Wisconsin 15-6, beat Purdue 20-14, Michigan State 26-16. Michigan State had a 100-yard rusher against them. Got the doors blown off and shut out on the road at Penn State. 20-13 win over Iowa State. 24-14 over Utah State, and 41-10 over Western Michigan. I mean, you people want to talk about Michigan doesn't play anybody. Look at that schedule. Holy shnikes. For the love of God, what are you doing out there? But you play the schedule. You play the games that are in front of you. It is what it is. What does Iowa have to look forward to next season? Rivalry game, non-conference against Iowa State. That means a lot out there. Troy, the men of Troy come, the Trojans. Illinois State, at Ohio State, Washington at home, at Michigan State, Wisconsin at home, at UCLA. Next year's schedule, they've already got more games. Ohio State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, UCLA. That's pretty good. They dodge Michigan. That's a positive for them. They dodge Penn State. That's good. And I'm assuming that Michigan State is going to be better next year. That's an assumption. And we'll see. Michigan State hired a coach that's career records right around 500. $7 million a year. I feel like some people are like, oh, he got the bag. And you're coaching at Michigan State. I mean, if that's the program that you want it to be, they're $7 million. That seems legit. And somewhere around $11 million for assistants. Okay, cool. I'm good with that. It's low key. Get away from the hype and all the razzle dazzle. We saw, the people are like, Deion's losing recruits. Yeah, people thought that was going to be an overnight thing. It's not going to be. And what happens when they start sending guys to the NFL? Nothing happens overnight. It just doesn't. It's very, very difficult to come in your first season and be able to rally the troops to some sort of success. It's incredibly hard. Unless, of course, you're at a program that's built like Ohio State, and the coach that never would have been let go has to ease his way out of the program, and you're just going to hire from within and pick up where things have left off. So they've even created a metric about that. Which coaches are set up in the best position to take over? It's pretty wild. Now let's get to the college football playoff rankings. Came out last night. Ohio State, who had been number 1 at different times through week 14 of the season, or going into week 14 of the season, I should say. Ohio State with the loss drops 4 spots down to number 6. Oregon is 5. Florida State is 4. Washington is 3. Michigan is 2. Georgia is 1. A lot of people want to know, how does Ohio State backdoor their way into the college football playoff this year? I find it very interesting that they are ahead of Texas and ahead of Alabama, considering the fact, if you were to look at Texas's schedule this year, with that win over third-ranked Alabama, ranked win against Kansas, they lost to Oklahoma. They'll get a ranked game in Oklahoma State, a ranked win against Kansas State. Now, Oklahoma, being as porous as they have coming down the stretch, that hurts Texas, and that hurts their resume a little bit. If you look at Alabama, right behind Texas, that's their only loss of the season. They beat 15th-ranked Ole Miss, 17th-ranked Tennessee, 14th-ranked LSU, snuck away with the rivalry game against Auburn. I have a bad feeling. I don't think Alabama, based on that Auburn game, I don't think so. They got lucky there at the end, and Jalen Milroe talking about give me the Heisman. Like, will you relax, please? Please. Ohio State. They have that ranked win against Notre Dame and a ranked win against Penn State. That's what they have. 2 ranked victories. Because it's coming down to the one-loss teams. If Georgia beats Alabama, obviously they stay the 1 seed. Michigan's going to beat Iowa. I'm not concerned about it. Like, it just is what it is. I'm usually not this openly aggressive, but 2 top 10 wins, both without their head coach. More top 10 wins in the last 3 weeks than James Franklin has in his career. Like, that's a wrap. So they should be good there. Florida State is very, very interesting. Florida State, win with a backup quarterback 24-15. They'll get Louisville. Louisville coming off a loss. They have ranked wins over LSU and Duke. The committee, however, when Jordan Travis got injured, held that against them, moved him down, moved him back up after their win, and it helps that Ohio State lost there. Oregon and Washington is the big story here. If Oregon wins, and they are a one-loss team, they have a ranked win against Colorado, we know that's whatever, a ranked win against Utah, and a ranked win against Oregon State. What do you do if Oregon beats Washington, and Washington with their high-flying offense, Michael Penix, congratulations to him, getting out of Indiana is the best thing to ever happen to him. They have a ranked win over Oregon, ranked win over USC, ranked win over Utah, ranked win over Oregon State. They've got more ranked victories than Ohio State. If they lose to Oregon in the rematch, would you put 2 Pac-12 teams in? That's the question. Because if Florida State wins, takes the ACC crown, they're in at number 4. Georgia beats Alabama, they're in at number 1. Michigan wins. If Oregon beats Washington, they've got more top 10 wins. Do you slide Florida State up to 3 and put Oregon in there at 4? That's a mighty interesting question. If Georgia somehow loses and Alabama gets a win over the number 1 ranked team in the country, where do you put Alabama? Do you move Michigan to 1, Georgia to 3, Bama to 4, and then Washington if they win? I mean, what are we doing, guys? Because it's interesting to me that Georgia has only relinquished their number 1 ranking, according to the College Football Playoff Committee. They've only relinquished their number 1 ranking since the College Football Playoff rankings began to come out to Ohio State. That's it. Ohio State had moved up. They had been number 1. They were, hovering around 2, 3 in the AP poll. But the College Football Playoff ranking in Week 10 had Ohio State 1 and Georgia at 2. In Week 11, Ohio State, once again the Buckeyes, number 1, Georgia number 2. Michigan was number 3. In Week 11, the College Football Playoff Committee moved up Georgia 1 spot and Ohio State down 1 spot. Even though all things had remained the same, nothing had changed. Both teams won. Very interesting. So instead of it being a 1 versus 3 matchup, they moved Georgia up to 1, continued Georgia at number 1 at Week 13 until the loss, where it was a 2-3 matchup between Michigan and Ohio State, and then bumped Ohio State down to 6, dropping them 4 spots. What is the reasoning from this committee to put Ohio State at 1, Georgia at 2, Michigan at 3, and then to all of a sudden flip Ohio State and Georgia? Why does it matter, you might say? Well, it matters for seeding and where you go and who you play. That's why it matters. It is the most confusing thing that this group can't stay consistent for 3 weeks. Did they move Ohio State down so that Michigan wouldn't get a win against the number 1 team in the country to vault them to number 1? Is that what they did? Inquiring minds would like to know. I would like to know. Let's have an open conversation. Is that why you guys did this? Because anytime you deal with a committee, and I'll give you this about the committee, there are NCAA rules in which they try to make sure that you don't get intra-conference matchups in the first round of the NCAA tournament, right? You're trying to stay away from that opening weekend. You don't want to have that happen. They're going to need to put something in place like this for the expanded 12-team playoff. Now, I took a look, because Ross Dellinger does this every single week, of what this might look like in a 12-team playoff. And, some folks were talking about, how watered down it might be. This is what it would look like right now with 12 teams in the playoffs, your top 4 seeds getting byes. You would have Michigan getting the winner of Texas-Penn State in the Cotton Bowl. Ohio State hosting Ole Miss. Winner of that goes to the Fiesta Bowl to take on Washington. Mizzou travels to Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama in an all-SEC quadrant. That doesn't make any sense. And then Tulane traveling to Oregon, winner going to the Orange Bowl to take on Florida State. Like the Tulane, Oregon, Florida State quadrant is one of the best ones, along with the Ohio State, Ole Miss, and Washington one. Because then you have Big 12, you have Pac-12, Big 10, and SEC. In Michigan's quadrant, you have Big 12, Big 10, and Big 10. In Georgia's quadrant, you have all SEC. That doesn't make any sense. So there's going to have to be some shuffling around here to make this whole thing make sense. And I like the fact that Tulane gets a game. I like the fact that they are in as the highest ranked group of 5 team. Toledo not getting any love because, a debacle there at the end of the Illinois game. They lose by 2. They're 11-1. They got a chance at a MAC championship. We're going to have tickets for that, by the way, to give away tomorrow and Friday to go watch the MAC championship. Watch my Toledo Rockets go to Ford Field. Hashtag Candles Crew. Excited about that. I'll be there at noon and then get ready for shooting hoops at 7 o'clock. Back down in the Glass City. But neither here nor there. There are some tweaks that need to be made to this. Because I'll be honest with you. Like, who's to say that Tulane wouldn't beat Oregon? We don't know that. Boise State beat Oklahoma, didn't they? This is why I think that the group of 5 should have a seat at the table and they should have something to play for. And that something to play for should be a berth to the tournament. You got 5 Power 5s. You got 5 group of 5s. If you want to weasel 2 other teams in there, by all means, get to weaseling. But Oklahoma's 10-2. Ole Miss is 10-2. Penn State is 10-2. Missouri's 10-2. I, for one, don't feel like that's watered down. I don't think that's watered down at all. I just, I don't like what we're seeing in the Pac-12 that we're going to see in the Big Ten in future years. Is you are going to see a rematch of a game that was just played to the week prior, going to a neutral site. Like, I don't really like that for the championship game. Not a fan of it. In fact, I'd rather see just the regular season winner. They move on. That's what I'd like to see. We'll step aside. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Right here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Earn bonus points with M-Perks at Meijer for just one more way to save this holiday season. Shop groceries, apparel, gifts, and more, and earn points on it all. And right now, earn 2 times the points for every dollar you spend on select Meijer brand food. Earn points every time you shop and redeem them anytime you want. Make Meijer your one-stop shop for everything you need this holiday season. And with M-Perks, you'll save even more. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Friday, December 1st at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Single record of the year is Better Man. The album of the year, Killin' Time.
Come on up again, Clint Black.
Clint Black with special guest Josh Grayson. Tickets start at $40. On sale now at the box office and etix.com. Clint Black and Josh Grayson. Friday, December 1st at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Huge here for my friends from Coppercraft Distillery. Now they're a Michigan-based company, and they have a message for anybody 21 and up. You're going to want to get hooked up with this Honolulu Blue, a premium can cocktail. Vodka, blue raspberry lemonade. This special limited edition can cocktail is available at local stores, pubs, and restaurants. And when you're cheering on our favorite pro football team, TDs, tailgates, and more. Make sure you grab a Honolulu Blue from Coppercraft Distillery.
Merc Perks from Mercantile Bank is here. Merc Perks checking has all you need to plan your busy lifestyle. Travel services for hotels, airfare, and cruises, cashback rewards, and even savings on prescriptions, eyewear, and dental work. Merc Perks also includes all the traditional benefits you love, like online and mobile banking, and fee-free access to almost 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merc is here. Learn more at mymercperks.com, member FDIC.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
Life as a grown-up. Not what you thought it would be, right? The meetings, the stress, the boredom, and that one big question. Does any of this matter? Then you became a cop. Not what you thought it would be, right? The pride, the honor, the love for the brothers and sisters who served with you. The family who reminds you how much you matter. Being a cop, not what you thought, right? Just what you needed, I guess. Visit MichiganPoliceChiefs.org.
Huge here. AB's doing a heck of a job, and I'm ready to drop some huge opinions about what he's talking about later today at 3 on the Michigan